particularly South Africans, black South Africans, not wanting their brothers to be in their country, and particularly Nigerians. Nigeria played a very, very significant role in the darkest years of South Africa, of the blacks in South Africa, during the apartheid regime. They were killing them, they were imprisoning them, and in our own government of the Eastern region, by my party, the NTNC then, we collected a lot of young boys and young girls from South Africa, from Zimbabwe, from Tanzania, from Malawi, and gave them scholarships in Nigerian secondary schools. Gave them the education here in Nigerian secondary schools. The existing grammar schools there had about 20 South Africans, 20 Africans, East and Central African, when they were being oppressed by the whites, we were giving them education. Most of their politicians, we trained them in the NCNC political training school at Yaba. They went home and became ministers in their country. When Nelson Mandela was being hunted by South African apartheid government and British intelligence service, he went to Tanzania. At Tanzania, they wanted Tanzania being a small country, they wanted to round him up there because there were so many whites there. And so he found his way to Nigeria in 1961. And when he came to Nigeria, Dr. Azikiwe was then the Governor General, not yet President of Nigeria. So he reported to Zik. And Zik said, okay, we'll host you here. We'll keep you in this country. We'll give you refuge here. Let me find the nationalist that has similar thinking with you, with whom you feel comfortable and at home. And Zik sent for me. I went to see Zik at the State House. I introduced Nelson Mandela and said that I should take him and he should stay with me. Sorry. Mandela came to me and lived with me in my house at number 5 Okotiebo Street, Ikoyi, Lagos, for 6 good months. The British intelligence service were looking for him, desperately for him. South Africa had no representation in Nigeria then. The apartheid government of South Africa did not have a representation in Nigeria then, so the British people were fighting for them. They were looking for him, but it was impossible for them to get to Mandela because Mandela was with me. I wasn't a soft person in nationalism there. The British knew me. They wouldn't get near me. If they got near me, the person would burn. So with Mandela, Mandela felt free with me. Most often we would go to the clubs in the night, we'd dance at the Empire Hotel, Kakadu Hotel, and everywhere. We would go and dance high life and so forth. And they dare not touch him. And then once a month, I used to come home every month. Every month, Mandela and myself will come to this village. We'll stay here in this village, spend the weekend, Friday, Saturday, maybe Monday, Tuesday, we'll go back to Lagos. And there's an African diet I like very much, abacha. The flat one, not the mbagobunu. So Mandela liked it very much. And my mother was always very fond of preparing it for us. Even when we were going home, back to Lagos, he would package something for us to take to Lagos because Mandela liked it. So after about 6 months, Mandela started thinking. He said, look, comrade, this my stay in Nigeria is not productive. It's true that I'm free here, but my people are still slaves. I think I better go home. If I go home, one of two things will happen. They will either kill me or they will send me to prison. Whichever way they do will give inspiration to other nationalists to fight more and more. So he said he was going home. So we decided he should go home. Then I rallied a few of the known old Zikis. Then we escorted him to the airport, and then we sat together, and then we sang the Zikis anthem. My life has been a joy to me, no matter where I go. I've learned to live in harmony with kindly friend of foe. We sang it for him, and then he boarded the aircraft, went home. Barely 3 months after he got home, they arrested him, and they sent him to prison for life. Significantly, the typical Mandela, he wrote me a letter from prison, signed in prison number so and so and so. He wrote me that there was a Dr. Barange, the son of a lawyer who defended them, that the apartheid government was trying to get that Dr. Barange to imprison him, that he is running away to Nigeria, that I should help him get a job in Nigeria. He was a geologist. So the Dr. Barange came to Nigeria, reported to me, and I arranged for the University of Ife to offer him a job as a lecturer. So that was from Mandela, from prison, writing to think about somebody else who is free outside. That is the nature of person Mandela was. So when he was eventually discharged from prison after 27 years, he came to Nigeria to say thank you to us. By then, Nigeria was under military dictatorship by Abacha. So, but Mandela said whatever happened, he wanted to see two people in Nigeria, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe and Mbazika Amaechi. So Zik was then a man at free, no more president, no more governor at Abuja, at Nsukka. So they arranged, the military governor attending with them was one Robert Akonobi. So Akonobi arranged for Mandela to meet with Zik and sent for me. They sent a message to me that Mandela was at Enugu and they wanted to see me. So I went to Enugu with my wife, and we met with Mandela. Mandela introduced me and my wife to his wife, because he came with his wife, Winnie, I think Winnie or something. And they came together. So we had some time at Enugu, and we escorted him, he went home. When he died, I wanted to go for the funeral, but the government, the federal government, refused to sponsor me. Good luck, Jonathan. I even begged, I said, give me a lift in your aircraft, your free aircraft. Then the secretary to the government, one man from Afikpo, Payo Anyin, he said, look, what are you going to do in South Africa? The way they do their funeral is not the way we do it here. It's for you to stand on the street to wave when they carry the coffin. So I said, no, that's true. So PWB was the governor of Anambra State then. So 2 or 4 days to the thing at South Africa, PWB had this, and since for me, I was at Abuja trying to beg these people to let me go. So PWB said, no, don't worry, Anambra government, I will sponsor you. So PWB sponsored me, myself, my PA, and my secretary. We went to South Africa. But the significant thing was that my going to South Africa was the only way of letting the world know that Nigeria ever played a role in the affairs of Mandela and South Africa. Our president, Jonathan, went there. He sat among the VIPs in the field. Only one spokesman was allowed per continent. So one woman spoke for Africa. the American president spoke. Somebody spoke for Europe, and so forth. So Jonathan was there. Nobody took notice of him, and he went home. It was only when I arrived that the Nigerian mission in South Africa became very happy. Here is Nigeria. They surprised me by being at the airport at 5 a.m. to give me VIP treatment. The Nigerian embassy in South Africa. They took me, gave me, and then arranged for me to go to Mandela's house to sign the condolence register. From there, I went to Pretoria, where they led him in state, and then went to the place, paid my respect to him. Then they took me to his village. You see, I saw some bullet marks on the wall and so forth when they were fighting for this thing. Then, but the most important thing was that they arranged a big dinner party of international people for me and arranged a world press conference for me to address. It was there that South Africa and the world knew that Nigeria played a very significant role in the struggle of South African blacks. So now that I'm hearing about people, South Africans, killing Nigerians or other Africans, I feel so sad. Because in their darkest hour, many of these countries, particularly Nigeria, played her role. Even during military regime, the military in Nigeria, under Abacha of all people, received Mandela, and then I think they gave him something when he came. But Mandela was not bothered with money. Wealth was not his concern in his life. But it's true that people from Zimbabwe, from Malawi and other areas were rushing down to South Africa because of its development, because of its mineral resources and so forth. And there's more wealth there. But the South African people, most of them, it will be unkind for me to say that they are lazy, but they are not playing their role in seeking employment. They rather like to enjoy the new freedom they have than working. And so when others come to work to earn their salary, they become jealous. It makes one feel very uncomfortable. Well, when they are killing blacks, perhaps they don't discriminate among Nigerians. All blacks are blacks. But Nigeria played a very significant role in the struggle by the blacks of South Africa to free themselves from the yoke of imperialism called apartheid.